Welcome to the Growing Your Business podcast. This is the show that dives into the big question, what's in it for me, for both the business and its customers? On each episode, we sit down with a business owner or leader to uncover their why, their values, and the stories that drive them to grow their business. So joining me today on the Growing Your Business podcast is my friend Tracy Dickey with Empty Hand, Open Heart. Tracy, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
I'd love to hear about this foundation and why you're doing what you do with Empty Hand, Open Heart. So tell me how you started it and why.
So I've started working in shelters 11 years ago. It's kind of the basis of why I started training in karate was because I wanted to learn to teach people how to do self-defense. And working with ladies was very important to me. I had been through lots of abuse in my life, starting at a very young age, through teenage years, and then through in adult relationships. And so helping them was very passionate for me. So I go into shelters of ladies that have been domestic abused. And I also go into shelters where ladies have been sexual trafficked. And then I also work with individuals with just rape or any kind of abuse that they might have had.
And I'd say it's sad to say, but the awareness of these things is relatively low. It's underreported yet prevalent. And that's why you're active.
There is there's so many women have just been raped and they feel small inside. And I think that when I get to work with them, I get to see that. And when we work with them, there's a lot of touch involved. And that's something that is very hard for some people to grab. The ladies that have been trafficked, they don't want they may have been bounded by their wrist. And so we're just trying to work a simple wrist lock, and that can be hard for them.
Trigger them.
Yes, chokes. One lady couldn't even lay on her back because she had been flipped on her back. Hair pulling. But we work through all of those things in a very different way than they would if they went to a regular self-defense class. We do that, and I'm very aware of their triggers.
So you go to different places that you've aligned with, and you get them to come to your class, or you host class there. Like how does that work?
So I go to different shelters. I go to some domestic abuse shelters that are safe shelters, so they're immediately taken or brought there usually by the police. And I go to them. I go to a couple of different safe shelters a couple times a week or a couple times a month.
So you go to them though.
I go to them, and then there's shelters that I go to that are more long term, and I might do some quarterly events with them. So I even work with the staff, and then there's Treasured Vessels Foundation that I go to weekly. They are a trafficking shelter, and I go to them weekly, and I work with them on karate. So they earn rank and they get to do all those things and have the responsibility of learning and memorizing the things that they're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's really great that you do that. When you get involved, you're helping.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So recently, one of the girls, we were in an event and she just had tears running down her face and she gave me a big hug. And her story is very tragic. I don't really want to share that much about it, but she said she had never felt the love that I was giving to her. And that was very special for her to feel the love. I see them grow to be able to, when the first time I meet them, they don't want to be touched. To usually a couple weeks, they're able to hug me. Even in the domestic abuse shelter, usually when I'm done speaking with them, they'll throw hugs to me. And it's just very amazing. One of the safe shelters I go into, the domestic abuse, a lot of the times I go in there and they'll say, I've just been praying for someone like you to come talk to me, to share with me what I can do. And we go over what their main concern is, and because sometimes I don't have a lot of time with them. And then they are able to just feel more confident.
How long have you been doing this?
11 years I've been
11
working
years.
in the shelters, yes.
Yeah. And how did you get started?
I started with Hope Store in Plano, and then I moved to Emily's Place quickly after that. Emily's Place is more of a long-term where they would go after they left Hope Store. And then I work with the local Good Center in Plano, and we do a lot of self-defense there, and they will provide childcare for me while we do that.
So you've been doing this for 11 years.
Yes.
How can other people get involved to help you continue your mission?
Funding would be great. Most of our funding, if you go to our donation page, you will see that most of the funding has come from myself at this time. Because we are actually, one goal we have is to get a suit where the girls can put on, or not the girls, a guy
Right.
most likely would put on a suit, and he would be protected when we let the girls go crazy on them. And those suits are about $4,000. And so, yes, we have the facility that we pay rent on to use to bring it to a safe place for the girls to come to. I worked with the Plano Police Department, and they help me. They bring victims to me. I've worked with a group that they have sent me to, and I'll go to them. So, like that group was particularly at a church that they were meeting at, and we just made it work in that facility. But it was like 50 ladies that they had wanted me to work with.
Stay with us. The Growing Your Business podcast will return right after this. Ready to amplify your brand's voice? At Blue Mike Studios, we transform your ideas into captivating podcasts and videos. Whether you're launching your own show or guest starring on ours, we've got you covered. From recording and editing to social media promotion. With state-of-the-art 4K video and crystal clear audio, your content will shine. We offer guest packages on our podcasts and offer segments from the show for you to share. Or let us help you build your own branded podcast with custom strategy, branding, and full production support. Visit BlueMikeStudios.com today and let your voice be heard. Please check our show notes for sponsorship links and additional details. Now, back to the Growing Your Business podcast with Buddy Broyles. Let's talk about what's available to programs that are looking for someone like you. I imagine you're busy.
Yes, and we are always trying to add more shelters and different people we can do. And then volunteers that directly go with the shelters, I kind of have to train directly. It's not necessarily somebody that can just come in off the streets and we can say, oh, go to that shelter. It's kind of something you have to be trained for. Most of my karate students are also my volunteers. So when I did the group with the 50 ladies, I think I had 18 of my students come out and help assist with that.
Now, in terms of impact, in 11 years, you've met a lot of young ladies, changed a lot of lives. How can people, you mentioned money. What are other ways they can support you and be involved in and help you grow what you're doing?
Yes. If they have people that have victims that would like to bring to me, obviously, we do a way for us to also raise money is we do self-defense classes for companies, and it's a great team bonding thing, and you can bring and you can just make a donation and we will do that class to you for free. We can do it at your facility or we can do it at my studio.
Give me an example of one of those. You don't necessarily have to name, walk me through how an event like that transpired.
So I did one recently for a bank.
Okay.
And we did all the employees, and they actually had a gym at that bank. So they just set it up. We actually did it during their lunch break. So I brought in a couple other ladies that are able to, everybody's schedules are different, but we came in and we went through, it's about an hour and a half class, and they enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. That sounds like a great corporate event.
Oh, yeah.
Or something, for banks. Have there been other businesses that have had interest in this?
Yes. And I've done some for, not other businesses. We've done other businesses, but for an example, we've done a ladies thing where the ladies came in, we did self-defense, and then they did a social where they played cards and had wine, and my studio provides all that room for them to be able to have a little, girls' night.
Yeah, how fun. What's your favorite part about what you do with your organization?
Seeing the impact and the hugs. I recently took some of the girls to my church on Friday, and they were just overjoyed and praising so much, and it was just a blessing for them to be there.
How can people help you? It sounds like corporate sponsorship and
Yes.
and just having them host you for events to get the awareness out.
Yes, to get the awareness out, and Monthly donations, like setting up a monthly fee would be, monthly donation to our cause, which helps us. And the more people we can reach, we've already reached 2,500 people in the last 10 years. So just the more people we help and empower.
You felt empowered to do this. What was the first thing you did to start?
To start working with the ladies.
Yes.
I was scared.
Yeah.
I remember the first day I walked into Hope Store for the first time. I didn't know what to expect. But this meeting, the souls inside of these ladies that have been so damaged on the outside was amazing and very heartfelt, and the things that just they can do. I found a lady sitting on the bed one day at Hope Store crying, and I came in and I just sat on the bed next to her because it's very casual. It's just not set up in a formal way when I go in there. And I put my arm around her and I said, "What can we do for you today?" And she said she has to go to work, and her abuser knows where she works, and so she's very scared. And so we sat and talked about the things that she could do, the positive self-defense that she had. And she was a chef in a kitchen. I go, well, let's try to find some weapons that might be in the kitchen. And so we talked about that. And then I remember about a month later, she came running up and hugged me and said that he had just gotten arrested and she felt free.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you must have thousands of stories like that.
There are so many.
Yeah. When we go to your website, what will we find?
You can find, there's the stories of all the backgrounds of the board members and a lot of background on myself. There is also a donation page, and we keep that updated with how many people we help and how many hours we spend and how much money we've also taken in at this point. And there's places to make the donation through credit cards, PayPal. You can mail a check if you want.
What would you say to the women everywhere out there that can benefit from what you do?
People that are broken and have had things happen to them, the trauma and the triggers are just at first is so deep. It was very deep for me. It was hard for me. It was hard for me to have someone sit on me. So I know exactly where they are. I know when they were on top of me, that was just uncomfortable. But the more I did it and the more time went on, that gap closed and I was able to get through that, and being able to share that with the girls and the survivors that it does get better. It does get better. And facing your fear and jumping in and letting someone trust you, that you trust, grab you a little bit. And then that gets better.
Thank you for what you do.
You're very welcome.
I'm glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on the Growing Your Business podcast. Please see the show notes for links to our sponsors, our social media, and to learn more about today's guest.